7 hours and counting now until 2026 here in Colorado. But London is ringing in the new year as we speak. They're celebrating with fireworks right along the banks of the Thames. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Phil Lipoff.
I'm Kim Christensen. People ringing in the new year in Denver are in for a chilly night, but overall, this weather is mild. Perfect for those midnight fireworks. We're capping off Denver's second warmest December on record. Plenty of folks are outside soaking in the sun today at Confluence Park. Our Weather Impact team is tracking your New Year's Eve forecast.
Hey guys, yeah, it is incredibly mild. In fact, I'm going to pull an audible here and bump us up 5 more degrees at midnight. It is going to be cloudy, but we're going to be dry. A marked contrast to Times Square, cold 21. I'd say this is pretty good by comparison. It is 55 in Fort Collins right now, 58 in Arvada, changing live on your screens there, 56 Littleton. We barely missed yet another daily record high today by 1. And it is a record for the month of December. 18 nowadays at or above 60. So very mild. Waking up to a bunch of clouds. And if you're in the mountains, some raindrops into some melting snow. Eventually that snow sticks. So your winter weather impacts built this just for you guys. It's going to be a little bit more impact, moderate level in the parks, and then some blowing snow if you're getting in that hiking for your New Year's resolution, Indian Peaks Wilderness. Yeah, breaking that record, now clear by 3 days from 1980's record. And the headlines bringing that temperature right back up, at least for now. That spells warm weather for your Broncos game on Sunday, too.
President Trump continues to rage at Colorado on a nearly daily basis. He's promised to punish the state over his election rigging conspiracy theories.
This week, he vetoed funding for a clean drinking water project in southern Colorado, and today lashed out once again online. Kyle Clark is here with more on that.
Yeah, so Georgia on My Mind is the famous song. If there was a Colorado version, President Trump would have that stuck on repeat in his head. This New Year's Eve, as Americans' thoughts turn to friendships and family in the year ahead, Trump is railing against leaders in Colorado, telling them to, quote, rot in hell.
President Trump promised, quote-unquote, harsh measures to punish Colorado if the state didn't free his friend Tina Peters. She's serving time for a scheme to tamper with voting systems. Trump is relocating Space Command out of Colorado, citing his false claim that mail-in elections like Colorado's are rigged. He's dismantling the NCAR Weather and Climate Lab in Boulder, denying disaster aid for Colorado's wildfires and floods, and vetoing Congress's unanimous bill to fund the Arkansas Valley Pipeline. It would bring clean drinking water to towns on the Eastern Plains. When the retaliation reached Republican Congressman Lauren Boebert's district, even she took issue with it.
We're talking about Southeast Colorado, who's overwhelmingly voted for President Trump in the last 3 elections. And these are not the people that should be attacked.
On New Year's Eve day, Trump raged into the online abyss again, falsely claiming that Peters is in prison for trying to stop voter fraud and attacking Democratic Governor Jared Polis, as well as the Republican prosecutor on Peters' case, writing, I wish them only the worst. May they rot in hell. Free Tina Peters.
So that prosecutor, DA Dan Rubenstein, reminded me today that there's an old saying in the law that if the facts are on your side, pound the facts. If the law is on your side, pound the law. If neither's on your side, pound the table. DA Rubenstein told me, quote, President Trump has no facts or no law here, and after trying and failing to invent both, he's left with nothing but pounding the table. I mean, there's that, and then there's also all of his other powers as president to try and find ways to punish Colorado.
And you said he repeated today that the election is rigged, especially here in Colorado, and that puts Republicans here in a really tight spot.
It's a brutal spot for them, right? Because either they break with the president and they say, no, that is a fantasy. Elections are not rigged. You have to come out and vote because elections are valid. Or they buy into the election rigging fantasy, and Colorado voters have already shown that they are not interested in doing that. And then you'll have Republicans who try to split the difference. The last candidate for governor on the Republican ticket here tried to publicly say elections are fine, and then privately she said, oh, we really know there's something funny with those elections. She took a 20-point L. So voters, they saw right through it. They were not buying it. He puts the GOP here in a really tough spot.
So you think like Gabe Evans, somebody like that, those districts, that's a horrible spot to be put in.
It's a difficult spot. And right now you have some Republicans like Lauren Boebert who are pushing back on Trump.
Yeah.
You have others who are fiercely loyal to him. And then you have some like Gabe Evans who are just kind of hard to find. Gabe's got his head down. You know, he's got a tough year ahead.
Well, Lauren's not happy either.
No, she's not happy at all, and she's willing to come out and say it at some personal risk to her own political career. But don't forget, a couple of weeks back, she crosswised with Trump when she pushed for the release of the Epstein files, and he apparently got very mad at her about that. When I talked to her yesterday, she couldn't pinpoint whether this is retaliation for the Epstein files, retaliation for the election rigging stuff, or something else entirely.
And I think that begs the question, try to make sense of all this. This is a conversation for another time, but like, what is he doing? What is he trying to do here?
He knows that it animates a certain part of his base, and he has a lot of pressure on him from the right wing of the party to do something about Tina Peters, and it's outside of his power.
Right. All right, Kyle, thank you.
A former social worker convicted of filing false child abuse claims against an Aurora City councilor has been released on parole after serving more than a year in jail. You may remember the case against Robin Niceta. She was sentenced to more than 4 years behind bars last May after filing fake child abuse claims against Aurora City Council member Danielle Jurinsky. Prosecutors say this was an act of revenge after Jurinsky publicly criticized Aurora's police chief, who was Niceta's partner at the time. Niceta's case was delayed multiple times after she faked a cancer diagnosis to avoid trial. She was sentenced to 3 years probation for that lie. The Department of Corrections now lists Niceta as an out-of-state parolee after spending a year and a half in prison. Jurinsky criticized the release in a statement on Twitter, calling the sentence insufficient and saying it, quotes, highlights the need for justice reform. 11 years ago today, the body of Toshio Gilmore was found on a couch outside of his home in Denver. Police quickly ruled it a homicide, but since then, no arrests have been made, and that case remains cold.
9 News reporter Jaleesa Irizarry joins us now. And Jaleesa, this family has been waiting a long time for answers.
They certainly have, Kim and Phil. 11 years and counting. Gilmore was killed on New Year's Eve in 2014. Police say his body was found on a couch outside of his apartment building just off of Lowry Boulevard on the city's east side. His family hopes the new year brings a break in the case.
A lot can change in 11 years, but what exactly happened at this apartment on that frigid December day remains cold.
It was a huge impact to our family. We felt the loss tremendously.
Calray Mills remembers that New Year's Eve in 2014 vividly, the day his cousin, Toshio Gilmore, was shot and killed.
Denver police say a man's body was found in front of an apartment building just before 5 this morning. The initial call came in as a 911 call as a man sleeping on a couch in front of the building.
He always was a protector. He was very, very smart. He didn't deserve to be murdered the way that he was and to die alone the way that he did. He certainly didn't deserve that.
Denver police have not made an arrest in this case.
There's not a day go by that I don't think about my son and what happened to him.
In 2022, Deidre Mills and Vincent Gilmore, Toshio's parents, tried to change that at a news conference, announcing a special $5,000 reward for a break in the case.
It's tough to get closure without knowing that information, though.
Gilmore and Mills are still waiting.
Because we don't want this to happen to anyone else's child or family member. It's hard to lose someone and knowing that people know that these people are out there and they know him and they know what happened to him and they won't step forward.
But while we're grieving our loved one, whoever did that is out there celebrating the holidays with their family. And it's just not fair.
This new year, this family hopes that changes. And what happened on that dark day comes to light.
It's never too late to find justice for Toshio's murder.
Gilmore was a father to 3 children. Crime Stoppers has reduced the reward. It's now up to $2,000 for any information that leads to an arrest. Jaleesa Irizarry, 9 News.
Such a sad one.
Jaleesa, thank you.
Thank you.